Britain's former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Now known as Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, he was taken into custody in Norfolk just a short while ago. He is accused of allegedly sharing confidential information with the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
And get to some breaking news that is happening as we speak in the United Kingdom, where it is on its way towards lunchtime on a Thursday. The reports are that Prince Andrew, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested. Now, the suggestion is that police have arrived at the former prince's home. Now,
former Prince Andrew's shocking arrest tied to the Epstein investigation sent shockwaves across the globe. On Thursday, February 19, 2026, British police did the unthinkable. They took Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the younger brother of King Charles III, into custody on serious allegations of misconduct in public office. This wasn't just another royal scandal, this was history in the making. For the first time in modern British history, a high-ranking royal was actually arrested, and the entire nation froze in disbelief. The headlines exploded, the palace went into crisis mode, and the media couldn't stop buzzing about how this could change the monarchy forever. The dramatic arrest went down early in the morning at Andrew's luxurious Sandringham estate in Norfolk, England, and it was like something straight out of a movie. Unmarked police cars rolled up quietly, and plainclothes officers moved in fast to carry out the operation. Neighbors and reporters who happened to be nearby couldn't believe what they were seeing, quickly snapping photos and filming every second. Within minutes, images of officers swarming one of the royal family's most iconic estates were all over social media, and the internet went wild. The once peaceful royal property suddenly turned into the scene of one of the most jaw-dropping royal moments ever. At the time, Andrew had just turned 66, and unbelievably, the arrest happened on his birthday. What a wild twist of fate. Instead of a quiet royal celebration, the day turned into absolute chaos as police surrounded his estate. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. The same day meant for cake and champagne ended with flashing lights and handcuffs. The tension in the air was unreal, and even longtime royal watchers were stunned by the timing. This arrest wasn't about recycled gossip, it came from brand new evidence that dropped like a bomb. Fresh documents released by the U.S. Department of Justice linked the case directly to the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and the details were explosive. The massive dump of files, tens of millions of pages now called the Epstein files, exposed a web of shady emails, hidden communications, and confidential reports. What really stunned investigators was the suggestion that Andrew, while serving as the UK's special representative for international trade and investment between 2001 and 2011, might have leaked sensitive government info to Epstein himself. The revelations painted a chilling picture of how deep this connection might have gone, sending both the British government and Buckingham Palace into total panic mode. According to the newly uncovered documents and a wave of media reports, things got way more serious than anyone expected. Back in 2010, while Andrew was still acting as the UK's trade envoy, he allegedly forwarded official government reports and private trip summaries from his overseas visits, places like Vietnam, Singapore, Hong Kong, and China, straight to Epstein. These weren't just friendly check-ins or harmless updates, they were confidential government briefings put together by top officials. The fact that such sensitive material may have landed in Epstein's hands shocked investigators and insiders alike, raising massive questions about how deep this connection really went and who else might have known about it. One email in particular stood out, and it was jaw-dropping. It allegedly showed Andrew sharing highly detailed investment info about Afghanistan's Helmand province with Epstein right around Christmas Eve 2010. The timing and the content made investigators' eyes widen instantly. The material wasn't just about money, it looked like it could have included sensitive economic and possibly intelligence-related details. To see something like that passed along so casually sent shockwaves through both London and Washington, raising serious alarms about what else might still be hidden. British police made it clear that this wasn't just embarrassing, it could be criminal. Investigators said the evidence raised serious doubts about whether Andrew had abused his position by leaking privileged government information and breaking strict confidentiality rules. That's why detectives decided to invoke one of the UK's toughest legal measures, the Statute of Misconduct in Public Office. This isn't a minor charge, it's a heavyweight common law offense that carries major consequences. If the case ever reaches trial and leads to a conviction, the punishment could, in theory, mean life behind bars. The thought of a royal facing that level of danger left the country in total disbelief. The Thames Valley Police finally broke their silence with an official statement confirming the shocking arrest. At first, they kept things vague, sticking to national protocol, and didn't drop Andrew's name right away. Instead, they described the suspect as a man in his 60s from Norfolk taken into custody on suspicion of misconduct in public office. But everyone already knew who they were talking about. While the statement was being released, officers were busy raiding multiple properties, including locations in Norfolk and Berkshire, one of them being his former royal residence, the prestigious Royal Lodge in Windsor. The moment the details leaked, the press exploded with speculation, and reporters camped outside royal estates hoping to catch even a glimpse of what was unfolding. Assistant Chief Constable Oliver Wright stepped forward to calm the storm, explaining that police didn't rush into this. Every move was carefully reviewed before the investigation even began. He said the team was coordinating with other law enforcement agencies to keep the probe tight, transparent, and completely objective. Wright made it clear that this wasn't about targeting anyone unfairly, but about following the evidence wherever it led. Still, he couldn't ignore the massive public interest surrounding the case, urging everyone to let the process play out with patience and respect, even as curiosity and tension kept climbing by the hour. After nearly 12 grueling hours of non-stop questioning, Andrew was finally released but not cleared. Police confirmed he was released under investigation, meaning he's out of custody but far from off the hook. The inquiry is still wide open, with detectives digging through piles of evidence, emails, and digital records to decide what comes next. It was a tense moment. The royal walked out of the station in silence, cameras flashing as the public waited to see whether this was the beginning of his downfall or just another royal twist in an already explosive saga. Just hours before the arrest rocked the nation, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer made a bold and powerful statement that set the tone for what was coming. He declared, "Nobody is above the law," sending a clear message that even the most powerful figures in Britain wouldn't be shielded from accountability. Starmer also urged anyone with knowledge or evidence tied to Epstein's network to step up and speak out. His words hit hard, echoing the growing demand across the country for full transparency and justice, no matter the title, wealth, or royal blood involved. The pressure on the government was sky high, and it was clear that the public wanted answers fast. Meanwhile, King Charles III broke his silence, and the palace released a statement that shook the nation. The king expressed his deepest concern over the unfolding scandal and made it clear that the royal family would fully cooperate with authorities throughout the investigation. His words carried a heavy tone, a mix of duty, disappointment, and heartbreak. Charles emphasized that the law must take its proper course, showing that even the monarchy wasn't above justice. Behind palace walls, insiders said the mood was tense as the king struggled to protect both the crown's dignity and the nation's trust during one of the most delicate moments of his reign. One emotional and deeply controversial part of this entire saga ties back to Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most outspoken accusers. Giuffre has long claimed that Epstein trafficked her to Andrew for sexual encounters, allegations that Andrew has consistently and firmly denied. The tension between their accounts sparked global outrage and led to a high-profile civil lawsuit in the United States that grabbed headlines everywhere. In 2022, Andrew reached a multi-million-pound settlement with Giuffre, though he made no admission of guilt as part of the agreement. Still, the payout raised eyebrows and fueled endless debate about what really happened behind closed doors. Even years later, that case continues to cast a dark shadow over his reputation, making this latest investigation feel like a storm that never truly ended. In a heartbreaking turn, Virginia Giuffre tragically took her own life in April 2025 at just 41 years old, leaving behind a storm of grief and unanswered questions. When news of Andrew's 2026 arrest broke, her family released a powerful and emotional statement that hit the world hard. They said the arrest showed that no one is above the law, not even royalty, and that it brought them a sense of peace knowing their sister's memory was finally being honored through real accountability. Their words echoed around the globe, reminding everyone how deep the pain still ran and how far-reaching the search for justice had become. Even though Andrew has been released under investigation, this story is far from finished. Things are just heating up. Police are still hard at work, digging through a mountain of files, emails, and confidential records pulled straight from the Epstein archives. They're teaming up with the Crown Prosecution Service (CPS) to determine whether there's enough solid evidence to officially charge him, and the tension around that decision is sky high. Investigators are also combing through his properties and questioning witnesses, former associates, and anyone who might have been close to the inner circle during those controversial years. Every new lead adds another layer to this massive probe. According to the Irish News, if the CPS decides to move forward and Andrew is ultimately convicted, the charge of misconduct in public office could bring serious consequences, potentially even life imprisonment in theory, though such sentences are extremely rare and hinge on proving clear, deliberate wrongdoing. What makes this story truly historic isn't just the legal drama, it's what it represents. Andrew has officially become the first senior member of the British royal family to ever be arrested in modern times, marking a jaw-dropping moment that will be remembered for generations. The last time anything even close to this happened was way back in the mid-1600s when King Charles I was detained and later executed during the English Civil War, a completely different era of monarchy and power. Now, critics and outspoken voices across the UK are saying this arrest proves that the royal family should be held to the same standards as everyone else, no exceptions. Meanwhile, loyal royal supporters fear this could shatter public trust and raise massive questions about transparency, accountability, and privilege at the very top of British society. The country feels split. Some see justice finally catching up, while others see the monarchy's image being dragged through the mud. So what do we actually know for sure right now? Andrew was arrested on February 19, 2026, on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The case connects to explosive evidence from the Epstein files, suggesting he may have shared government-level information with Epstein. He was questioned for hours before being released under investigation, meaning he's still part of an active probe. The royal family has publicly stated they will cooperate fully with law enforcement. Political leaders have stressed that the law applies equally to everyone, royal or not. The case is still unfolding, and while formal charges haven't been confirmed yet, the implications are massive. The whole world is watching to see what happens next. This isn't just another headline, it's a moment that fuses royal legacy, global scandal, and the weight of justice like never before. The saga surrounding former Prince Andrew has turned into a whirlwind of royal drama, legal suspense, and deep public scrutiny. It ties together decades of controversy linked to Jeffrey Epstein, shaking the foundations of privilege and power that once seemed untouchable. Now the whole world, from London to New York, is holding its breath to see what happens next and whether Andrew will actually face charges for allegedly betraying public trust. This is more than just news, it's history unfolding right before our eyes. What do you think about this shocking royal twist? Should Andrew be held fully accountable like anyone else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment to stay tuned for every wild new update in this royal scandal.